What better way to celebrate Women's Month than to have a dude reviewing a documentary about Frida Kahlo? This is Frida. It's on Amazon. I'm going to ask you to click that subscribe button anyway. Just I don't know. It's eventually it'll be something that you need on this. I have no idea. Just do it. Just Nike it and click the subscribe. Anyway, this is Frida. It's about Frida Kahlo. It's not the Salma Hayek movie, just in case you thought, but it is sort of similar because it is about Frida Kahlo, the painter. Not Frida Pinto, the actress, but Frida Kahlo. It's a little early in Frida Pinto's career to have a documentary about her. So yeah, it's apparently, it's got audio description on Amazon, which is good for me because I'm a blind film critic and I like that sweet audio description. And this is some sort of an animated documentary like Flea. We'll go with that comparison. I can't see it, so that's the best thing I can think of off the top of my head is Flea. It uses a lot of Frida's own stuff, either stuff that's captured, because it's not like she's from the 1700s and we can't find any pictures or audio of her. So it uses some of her own stuff, as well as somebody reading as her from notes from her diaries to help shape the documentary. So it's Frida in her own words, but with animation that is inspired by her art that is anchoring the film. So it's kind of meant to be a visual experience, but it is also a documentary at the same time. Was it good? I mean, listen, I feel like I learned more about Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera and Leon Trotsky and that whole thing. It takes some bold swings. It is a rated R documentary. So if you're thinking, oh, it's animated, my kids will like this, and I've been wanting to teach them about Frida Kahlo, just know it's rated R, please. There is a rating on it. I don't know that it's the most shocking of R rated, but there's a couple things that when they're suggested through the audio description on the animation, they might look a little weird and your kids might be a little freaked out. I'd say at least 10. Let's put an age on it. Let's say 10. That's a safe bet. There's a lot of reference to sex, so use your judgment from there. But I wouldn't immediately rush out there and be like, I want my 6-year-old girl to be inspired by this documentary. I don't know. This may not be the right piece for them. Yeah, so you navigate Frida's life, her tumultuous relationship with Diego Rivera, with whom she married twice, married, divorced, and also that time that Leon Trotsky spent some time with them and hooked up with Frida Kahlo. All of that is in here. Frida talks about trying to have children, a lot of really personal things that have nothing to do with her art, but really help shape her as a human. Because that's what you get when you open somebody's diary. You don't get the, well, I painted my greatest work today that I will be remembered for. You know, I passed an art dealer who told me this will be the thing that everybody will remember. It will one day be worth $30 million. No, nobody writes like that in their diaries. So it's all like really personal, like relationship stuff and feelings about life, love, you know, the stuff we didn't get to see, which, you know, they tried to explore in the biopic with Salma Hayek. So it's fine. It's short, but it felt longer. I'm going to be honest, I felt like I was in this for a full 2 hours. It's an hour and 25. It just moves really slow. it's just not a very, it's kind of it kind of lulls its way through the film. It never really excited me. It just kind of, I don't know. I think it relies heavily on the stylized animation that it has. And while the audio description does tackle some of that, it tackles it in sort of a, this is what this is, not in, oh my God, the animators here, they really just, wow, look at what they're doing here. This is incredible. You know, it's, I mean, like, but that's kind of like what you do when you see something like this, where they're trying to put like a visual journal to Frida's text. It's, I can guess what this is. It just came out as sort of like a documentary for me. And I thought the audio description was really well done for, I mean, for what they could possibly do. It's not like going to win audio description of the year. It's got 3 writers on it. There are 3 people credited as writers on this hour and 25-minute documentary on Amazon. So the meticulousness that they attempted here is probably pretty high. And I'm sure they asked themselves, are we submitting the best audio description track that we can? And I think that answer is probably yeah. They might have. It's hard to capture that kind of thing. There are certain films that are animated in certain ways. There are films that are rotoscoped. Animation is such an interesting art form in and of itself that when, if you're not exploring the various ways that people are able to do things, because animation opens up a door past reality. There's a lot you can do with visual effects too, where you can create monsters and stuff, but guess what? All of that is computer animation. It's basically the same thing. So once you leave the world of reality and you sort of explore what you're able to do either with computers through visual effects or just straight up traditional animation, you know, the world is your oyster. It's let your imagination run wild, and I think that's kind of what they can do here. You know, the animators are able to shape the film into a truly visual experience. They're not limited by what they can and can't do in the real world, and that's what animators constantly, regardless of. Although sometimes it looks completely different in different art forms. Anime looks different than traditional hand-drawn animation, which looks different than computer animation, which looks different than claymation and stop motion and rotoscope and just everything. I mean, they're all different, and they all have a different reason and different purpose for existing, and they offer a different visual context. So, if you're going into this as a blind person, I'm just going to be honest, just go into it and be like, I'm going to watch a Frida Kahlo documentary. And if you're cool with that, then you're cool with that. I just don't know. It didn't, I think Media Access Group did really solid work for a Frida Kahlo documentary. As far as how they're trying to bring us in here with the unique animation style and how it's, you know, inspired by Frida's own artwork. You would need, you know, visual references. You need to understand Frida's style in order for this to really pay off. There's a whole like laundry list of things that works. It hits to work. So it is what it is. I just kind of thought it was a little slow. It's not my favorite documentary of the year. However, I won't begrudge it too much because I did learn a hell of a lot about Frida Kahlo. So there's that. I would have preferred a faster paced documentary. At the end of the day, I'm going to say Frida comes in at a B-. It's not my favorite of the year. It's not going to win any documentary prizes, but I did appreciate it for being able to capture its subject matter. And I feel like now if I'm on Jeopardy and I need to answer a Frida Kahlo question, I have a much better shot of answering it. Being like, oh, I remember that. That was in the documentary that I watched. So anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I have a website, MacMovieGuy.com. You can follow me on X, Threads, or Instagram at MacMovieGuy. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know what has audio description and where you can watch it. And you can go to the ADNA.org. It's the ADNA.org. It'll let you know what who's working on your audio description tracks. I tried to get all the narrator names. There were 3 writers and 2 narrators that I wasn't familiar with that touched this piece, but it's Media Access Group. So if that helps, the Media Access Group at WGBH. Anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I will see you guys on the other side.